He showed me the auto turn analysis, and I told him I'm not 100%. The truck's still going off the road, so, and I told him that. It didn't even say that in the comments. It just said they're going to do non-stop.
You also said that, you have those reactions right on the It's not for this. It's not yet.
Okay, so it's not in here today?
For load.
Okay.
So I put your comments exactly.
Yeah, and it didn't say we couldn't move forward. It just said,
Can you rewrite it to say, that's what it looks like? I did, because you said it's not meet compliance.
what it says on it?
Whatever you typically call it.
I'll look at it after the meeting.
I mean, we could make a conversation before the
Yeah, let me look at the comments and then we'll, yeah.
typically they go
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning. Welcome to the May 2nd Walton County Technical Review Committee meeting. We've got a long agenda this morning, so we're going to go ahead and get started right away. First item on our agenda is review and approval of the minutes from the April 4 meeting, April 4, 2018. Do we have any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Minutes are approved. We have a number of projects that may get continued this morning. Most of those are at the beginning of our agenda. We're going to take those in order. The first item is a request to remove Second Amendment to the essentially built-out agreement for the town of Seaside. This is an item that typically doesn't come before the Technical Review Committee. So I'd like to hear a motion to remove this item from the agenda.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item has been removed. Item number 2, due to an advertising deficiency that has been corrected, we're going to have a special TRC meeting on May 16th. And staff is requesting that this item be continued to May 16th. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? All right, this item is continued to the May 16th Special Technical Review Committee at 8:30 in this room. Next item is the building of 30A event venue, lesson minor. We have a request to continue this item from all parties to the June 6th Technical Review Committee to allow consideration of the proposed agreement between the parties. Do I have a motion to continue this to June 6th Technical Review Committee meeting?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is continued to June 6, 2018, Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 in this room. Next item is the Hinton Drive abandonment. This is a proposed abandonment of public access to the beach in the Hinton Drive area as part of a government patent 33-foot easement that provides access to the public to the beach. There are presently discussions with the county regarding acquiring additional rights to the beach as part of this abandonment. Staff is requesting that this be continued to May 16th to a special TRC meeting to allow those negotiations to continue. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item from anyone in the audience?
June 6th.
June 6th.
The next meeting is June 6th.
Next meeting is May 16th. A special TRC meeting, May 16th.
I will be gone, just so you know.
I'll do it for you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is continued to May 16th to allow continuation of the discussion. Moves us to item number 5, the Inlet Beach Water System Wastewater Treatment Plant, large-scale amendment. I believe we have a request to continue this item to the June 6, 2018 Technical Review Committee meeting. That request is made on behalf of the applicant. Do we have a motion to that effect?
Motion to continue.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is continued to the June 6, 2018 Technical Review Committee meeting at 8:30 in this room. That brings us to item number 6, the Palm Court subdivision, request to approve by final order. It's been reviewed by Bob Durante. Bob, if you could introduce the project for us.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is a major development order application submitted by O'Connell and Associates LLC on behalf of SAP Investments, requesting approval to develop a 5-lot single-family subdivision on 1.23 plus or minus acres with the future land use of neighborhood infill. The project is located on Walton Magnolia Lane and is identified by the parcel number, as you see. This project had, at the last ZBA, received the variance. So you'll see there's 2 sets of comments, one if there's no variance and one if there's a variance. So those comments will go in play. There are a number of comments, but I don't think that there's any issue of getting it and continue to move it through. So I would like to turn it over to the agent if you have any questions.
I do not have any questions. I'm happy to go through each item if you care to do so.
Do you feel like you can address those comments?
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Did you receive the Northwest Florida Water Management District permit?
We did. I have a copy of the ERP permit right here.
Thank you.
This is a final order, a major development order. There will be public hearings at the Planning Commission and at the County Commission. We'll take a moment to invite the public to make any technical review comments or ask any technical questions about a particular project. Is there anyone from the public that has a technical question or comment? Seeing none, what's the wishes of the board? Do we have a recommended motion from staff?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve the Palm Court subdivision major development order once staff comments are addressed and resubmitted, and then once that happens, to schedule it for the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Bob. Do we
So
have a motion
moved.
for the dais? So moved.
Second?
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is moved, conditionally moved forward, subject to satisfaction of comments to the planning commission.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to item number 7, the Point Washington Preserve. This is a request to approve by final order as a major development. It's been reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob, could you introduce the project for us?
Yes, Mr. Chair, just before I start, just to remind you, you've seen this project before and it's gone all the way through the process, but it's going to start again and go through. The only change in the staff report is the phasing went to, in the third phase, there will be 3 phases inside that third phase, A, B, and C, but nothing else has changed. This is a major development order application submitted by 9dc Civil Engineering Incorporated on behalf of Southern Hybrid Homes LLC, requesting a technical approval to operate a 693 square foot of multiple purpose building as well as a 5,247 square feet civic pavilion. The applicant is also looking for conceptual approval of phase 2, 3A through C, and phase 4. The project is located from the intersection of US Highway 98 and 80 Miller Road, north for approximately 0.7 miles, and it's on the left. It's on 9.76 acres, and the future land use is Town Center 1. Mr. Chair, there are no comments to address because this was all cleared as it went through the process the first time. The applicant is here to speak if you have any questions.
Only question I had was the next steps. It says BCC and Development Order. Planning Commission's not here.
We're skipping the planning commission.
Skipping planning. Okay.
BCC.
That was the only question I had.
As this is a major development, there will be public hearings at the Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners. At this time, we'll invite the public to make any technical comments related to land development code provisions or technical questions related to same. Anyone from the audience wish to make a comment on this particular project? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Point Washington Preserve Major Development Order and move it to the Board of County Commissioners at their May meeting.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have a motion at the dais?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carries. This will move forward to Planning Commission. Brings us to item number 8 on our agenda, the Musset Bayou Office Building. Request to approve by minor development order. The project has been reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob, if you could introduce the project for us.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, this is a minor development order application submitted by Ross Blinky, P.E., on behalf of Driftwood Group, LLC, requesting approval to construct 3,800 square feet of office building on 0.35 plus or minus acres. The project is located at the southeast corner of Musset Bayou Road and Morrell Road. The current future land use is village mixed use. The parcel number is identified in the staff report. There were very minor comments addressed. In fact, the applicant has resubmitted today to move, so I'll turn it over to the applicant if he has any questions.
Ross Binkley, engineer of record. I don't have any questions about the comments.
Good morning and thank you.
Morning.
This is a minor development, so we're going to take the opportunity to open a public hearing on this particular project. Is there anyone in our audience that would like to make a comment or ask a question about this particular proposed development? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion? We'll close the public hearing and move to a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve the Musset Bayou Office Building minor development order once comments have been addressed and resubmitted, and then moving on to the DO stage.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to development order. Number 9, Bill Menadier has indicated he's going to recuse himself due to his involvement in the project. This is the Blue Mountain Beach Industrial Park Phase 2 replat, request approved by final plat. It's been reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob, if you'll introduce that for us.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is a replat application submitted by Dewberry on behalf of WRMG Inc., requesting approval to replat Block G, splitting it to create 2 building pads for commercial use on .283 plus or minus acres with a future land use of light industrial. There are some minor comments. I believe the applicant is already working on those comments. The only thing that I would have to add is that there is a less than minor going through the process on the next one, but so this one will be ready to go through to the BCC if staff agrees. And I guess
Can I address this?
Sure.
Yeah, the comments are minor, and on behalf of the applicant, I think these can be turned around in fairly short order.
Okay. Recommended motion?
I'd like to make a recommendation to conditionally approve the Blue Mountain Beach Industrial Park Phase 2 replat application once staff's comments have been addressed. And then once staff comments are addressed, we'll take the Mylar in and get it signed and take it to the BCC.
Do we have a motion at the dais?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Since this will have a public hearing at the Board of County Commissioners, we'll take just a moment to invite the audience to ask any technical comment, or technical questions, or make technical comments related to Land Development Code or Chapter 177 compliance. Do we have anyone that wishes to speak on this item? Seeing none, we have a motion at the dais. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is approved to move forward to the Board of County Commissioners, subject to satisfaction of any outstanding comments. That brings us to item number 10, the Blue Mountain Beach Industrial Park Phase 3 replat. Bill again has recused himself due to his involvement with the project. It's a request approved by final plat. It's been reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob, if you could introduce this one for us.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is a replat application submitted by Dewberry on behalf of WRMG Inc., requesting approval to replat units A1 and A2 to the existing Blue Mountain Beach plat as Phase 3 on .59 acres with future land use of light industrial. There's minor comments on this one that the applicant is already working on for the resubmittal for before we go to the BCC. This one does have a less than minor development order that still needs to be approved before we can move this one forward. I believe, talking with Tim yesterday, there's still 1 or 2 issues that need to be addressed before the less than minor will be issued. So we'll need that issued before this one goes to the BCC.
Okay, we can make that condition. As this is a final plat, we'll have a public hearing at the Board of County Commissioners. We'll take the opportunity to invite anyone to make any technical comment or ask any technical questions related to Land Development Code compliance or Chapter 177 compliance. Anyone wishing to make a comment about this particular project at this time? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion, Bob?
I'd like to make a recommendation to conditionally approve the Blue Mountain Beach Industrial Park Phase 3 replat on condition of accessory completing staff comments and also having the less than minor development order approved, and then move it to the BCC.
Thank you, Bob. We have a recommended motion. We have a motion of the dais.
Motion?
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will conditionally move forward to Board of County Commissioners, subject to approval of the less than minor development order. That brings us to number 11, the Magnolia Cottages Phase 3 plat. It's a request to approve by final plat. It's been reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob, could you introduce the project for us?
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is a plat application submitted by Emerald Coast Associates, Inc. on behalf of Creek Park LLC, requesting approval to plat 26-unit single-family subdivision on 5.06 plus or minus acres, future land use of traditional neighborhood development. There are some comments that shouldn't hold up the project for resubmittal. However, I've talked to the applicant. This will have to be stopped here after the VCC until there's a phasing less than minor done to correct the phasing of the subdivision. So we'll do that less than minor and then move it to the BCC once they resubmit. The applicant is here to answer any questions.
Good morning, Darrell Burgess with Emerald Coast Associates. I did review the comments, which are primarily generated from Public Works and Environmental. I don't think they're rather minor in nature, and we can readily address them. We will make this resubmittal here directly, but in accordance with what Bob's suggesting about the phasing.
Thank you, Darren. As this will have a public hearing at the Board of County Commissioners, we'll take the opportunity to invite any public comment on this particular item, unless we've already done that. Anyone else wishing to make a public comment about this particular item? Seeing none, we have a recommended motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a recommendation to conditionally approve the Magnolia Cottage Phase 3 plat application once staff comments are addressed and the less than minor has been issued to create the phase.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is approved subject to comments to move to the Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to item number 12, the Bay Grove Park. This is a request to approve by minor development order. It's been reviewed by Bob Barante. This is a Walton County Public Works project on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners. Bob, could you introduce the project for us?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As you said, this is a Board of County Commissioners project. It's to construct a public recreational facility on 7.46 plus or minus acres with a future land use of public facilities. However, the future land use amendment will not be complete until it is considered at the May 8th BCC meeting. And then we can go along through with the minor development order. The project is located at the southeast corner of US Highway 331 and Bay Grove Road and is identified by the parcels in the staff report. There are minor comments. I'm still trying to get comments from the Walton County Fire Department. Still try to continue to get those so we can move these in a timely manner. And I guess I'm representing the county. If there's any questions.
Do we have anyone representing Public Works this morning?
I can if needed be. We've reviewed the comments Bob has sent us, and depending on what other comments come in, we'll make those
We're only
necessary.
missing the fire. They received environmental and flood
Yesterday.
manager comments yesterday because we were waiting on the state. and then, and those were forwarded to the applicant. We're just waiting for fire, and I am trying daily to get those.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta get the fire comments before we can move it forward.
Greg said yesterday that he'll try his end to get them. I spoke to the reviewer basically on a daily basis, but hopefully we'll get them very shortly. We still have some time because of the future land use having to change, and then you have the 30-day appeal window. So this project won't be held up. As soon as I can get it all addressed, I'll get it out.
I understand we've got a floodplain issue with construction of the bathrooms that may require them to be elevated.
Yes.
Unless we can.
That's the only outstanding issue that we know of as of today.
Do you feel, now that we have comments and you've seen those, do you feel comfortable moving this forward, Bob? Subject to
the fire department comments. I mean, I know this is a very high priority for the county, and I'm doing the best to get the comments, but, yeah, I think it's okay to move it forward to the DO stage, pending the successful approval of the future land use change.
Subject to those comments and receiving no objection from the fire department, I would be comfortable with a motion in that regard. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion?
We have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to development order subject to satisfaction of those conditions just enumerated. That brings us to item number 13, the Bear Creek Phase 3. This is a request to approve by final order. It's a major development submitted by Morris Depew Associates. It's on behalf of J&B Freeport LLC. Bob has reviewed this, and Bob, if you could introduce the project for us.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The applicant is requesting to approve to subdivide 4 parcels in the 351 residential lots on 219.5 acres with a future land use of rural village. The project is located approximately 1,200 feet south of the intersection of Fluffy Landing Road and Bear Creek Boulevard, and it's identified by the parcel numbers in your staff report. Mr. Chair, there are numerous comments on this proposal, and yesterday we received public work comments additionally on it, and they were forwarded to the applicant. There is a lot of work to be done on this before we can move it ahead. The applicant has a representative here to take notes but not address the technical issues. So if there's any questions, I can try to answer them the best I can.
Have any questions from the committee on this project? What would be your recommendation, Bob?
Because of the level of the comments, I think that we can still conditionally approve it, but it's not going to move through the process right away. There's going to be another set of deep reviews from the reviewing agencies before we'll be comfortable moving forward. So I'd just like to make a motion to conditionally approve based on a successful resubmittal.
I don't really feel comfortable with conditionally approving the project without a lot of the construction details that are required in a typical subdivision set of plans. I mean, I didn't have any storm pipe structure information, no utility structure information. I didn't have any stormwater calculations. I didn't have any grading and drainage plans. There's quite a bit of improvements to the county roads in that area. I think we need another round of review prior to moving this forward to Planning Commission.
Well, that's why I was proposing to have another review, but if you'd like that your way to have it come back to the technical review committee, I don't have a problem with that.
There's quite a bit of information to be provided, so, and at that time, there may be some technical review issues that need to be addressed prior to planning. But it's up to the board and how we feel about it, but I've got quite a few comments, and I didn't see the Public Works comments.
No, we issued those late yesterday, I apologize, but we didn't see any plans for Fluffy Landing, and I believe that was a condition of the previous amended final order, and that was one of our comments. We need a full set of construction plans to review, as well as they have some improvements on 3280.
Given the number of outstanding issues on this particular one, that it might be best that we continue this to the next meeting,
You want to just
to
continue?
the June meeting, given how much of a resubmittal has got to happen on this project, to address the long list of comments.
Motion to continue.
We got a motion to continue to June 6th. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. This will be a major development. There are public hearings at Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners stage of this review process. However, right now we'll take the opportunity to invite any technical questions or technical comments related to compliance with the Land Development Code from any member of the audience at this time. Is there anyone that wishes to speak on this project? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second to continue to June 6th. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is continued to June 6th, Technical Review Committee at 8:30 a.m. in this room. That brings us to item number 14, the King Small Scale Amendment. This has been reviewed by Bob Arante. And Bob, if you could introduce it for us.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This small scale amendment has been applied for by Jenkins Engineering on behalf of Hunter Road LLC. It's a small scale amendment, as I said. It's requesting to change the adopted future land use of rural village to general commercial on 2.22 plus or minus acres. The project is located at the southwest corner of US 331 and Short Avenue. It is identified as the parcel number on your thing. It's basically across the highway from the Bay Grove Park. The applicant is proposing, if the future land use change is amended, to have a convenience store of 8 gas pumps and a 5,500 square foot restaurant. All the standard comments have been addressed for the future land use change only, not the use. And staff would like to turn it over to Mr. Jenkins, who is representing the applicant.
Good morning, Scott Jenkins with Jenkins Engineering. We have gotten the staff report, don't really have any questions. I would just point out that the concept that was presented is just kind of based on a highest and best use, and they'll obviously have to go through a development order process at the time they decide what they want to actually do there. But other than that, we really don't have any questions associated with the review.
This small scale amendment will have public hearings at Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners. We'll take the opportunity to invite any technical questions or technical comments from any member of the audience at this time related to the Walton County Comprehensive Plan and the process for amending that plan. Anyone wishing to make a technical comment or ask a technical question on this particular proposal? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of the request for the adoption of an ordinance amending the Walton County Comprehensive Plan, future land use map designation on .22 plus or minus acres from rural village to general commercial, and then move it to the Planning Commission for further consideration.
We have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed likewise? This item is recommended for approval to the Planning Commission and will be scheduled for the next available meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to number 15, the Churchill Oaks Phase 1 replat. Request to approve by final plat. This has been reviewed by Bob Barante. Bob, if you could introduce the project for us.
Yes, Mr. Chair. This is a request to replat lots 6, 7, 8, 9, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 3, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, and 76 of Churchill Oaks Phase 1. It's found in the official records of Walton County, Florida at Plat Book 18, page 65 on .4, 41.50 plus or minus acres for future land use and neighborhood infill and conservation residential. And Mr. Chair, if you refer to the back of the staff report, there are all the individual parcel numbers associated with these properties. There are just some minor changes and requests made. I did receive the engineering comments yesterday, and they have been forwarded to the applicant. So pending that, and there is really no further outstanding issues, I'd like to turn it over to the applicant.
Tanner Peacock, Churchill Development. We did receive staff's comments yesterday. Are in the process of addressing them and intend to resubmit likely by the end of the week.
Could I ask a question as to
Yes.
what the purpose of the replat is?
Just to make the lots larger and more marketable.
That's rare.
Yeah.
Serving the market. Is this development that appealed the new proposed flood maps?
Yes, we did appeal, correct.
Okay, do you know the status of that appeal?
We are hopefully wrapping it up here fairly soon.
Are these lots affected by that appeal?
Some of them, let's see, 6 through 9 and 68 through 71 will likely, the base flood elevation will likely increase from 7 to 8, and that's should be the only ones affected.
This will have a public hearing at the Board of County Commissioners. We'll take an opportunity to invite any questions, technical questions or technical comments related to compliance with the Land Development Code or the replatting process in the Land Development Code. Anyone wishing to make a comment at this time? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve the Churchill Oaks Phase 1 replat application once staff's comments are addressed and resubmittal, and forward them to the BCC for the final consideration.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will move forward to Board of County Commissioners. This brings us to item 16, Blue Gulf Place. Request to approve by minor development order. It's been reviewed by Bob Barante. And Bob, could you introduce this one for us?
Yes, Mr. Chair. As you said, it's a minor development order submitted by ECM on behalf of KMC Group, LLC, requesting approval to develop 7 townhomes, on .74 plus or minus acres. The project is located on the northeast corner of the intersection of County Route 30A and Blue Gulf Drive. The current future land use is village mixed use, and the project is identified as the parcel numbers in your staff report. Mr. Chair, there's just minor comments I think could be successfully addressed in the resubmittal. The agent's representative is here today. I'd like to turn it over.
Daryl Barnhill with ECM Engineers. Just one comment. Our environmental scientist would like the opportunity to discuss with the county review person, the county environmentalist, about the particular communities that's out there. So our people will be contacting the county to discuss that, to see if there's any room for further to lessen the impact of the preservation.
Thank you, Daryl. Do we have anyone from the audience that wishes to make a technical comment or ask a technical question about this proposed development? And actually, I'd say this is a minor development. And since this is a minor development, we're going to open a public hearing and invite any comment that anyone wants to make. Do we have anyone from the audience that wishes to make a comment about this proposed development at this time? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Do we have a recommended motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve the Blue Gulf Place minor development order pending successful completion of a resubmittal and addressing all staff's issues, and move it to the development order stage once that's occurred.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is approved. Moving forward to development order subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. This brings us to item number 17. This is the Blake at Miramar Beach, formerly known as Miramar Beach Senior Living. Request to approve by final order. This is a major development that's been reviewed by Tim Brown.
Yeah, good morning. This is an amendment to the previous approval. They're requesting to develop a 115,000 square foot assisted living and memory care facility with associated improvements on 10.61 acres with the future land use of the coastal center mixed use. It's located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Ponce de Leon and US Highway 98 West. So they've actually shrank this from 100 and, I don't have the exact number, so 186,000 to 115,000 square feet. So because they redesigned it, it's coming back to TRC for review. The comments are minor. I forwarded, because I just received them in the last couple of days, I forwarded to the applicant the public works comments and the fire comments. I see no reason to hold it up. This is going to the design review board tomorrow after the meeting. There is an issue with, I was hoping they'd be here. There is an issue with the number of access points they have on Ponce de Leon. That's an issue that Public Works has concerns about. Because they're proposing to do a lot split with a parcel, well, it's one parcel now, but to split the southern parcel and make two parcels out of this.
And that's something you may can help clarify, Mac. Because right now, it's one parcel, and the length goes over 600 continuous feet of frontage, so they're allowed 3 access points. So they meet that, but one of our comments was they have a future development identified. So when I spoke to them on the phone, I asked them if the intent was to use the southern entrance to access that on Ponce de Leon Street. And they said they weren't sure at this time. And since then, they've discussed that they were going to do a lot split. So if they're doing a lot split, the continuous frontage actually reduces below 600. It means they're only allowed 2 access points.
Which means they would have to redesign what they're putting forward right now.
We've got 4 shown on the plan at present.
Well, one is a one way in, one way out, which
So we're
counts
counting
as
as one.
which counts as 1. So we have 3 access points right now.
So what do we want to do?
Well, I was hoping the applicant would be here because if they need to redesign it, that's obviously going to affect the DRB meeting that they've got scheduled for tomorrow. I know they're meeting with Vivian tomorrow to discuss the lot split. So
What does the lot split accomplish?
at a minimum, they would have to have an entrance off of that southern guile, right? And if they're gonna keep what they got here, they would have to access that southern parcel through that southern current, southern access, drive, correct?
Well, that was the discussion if they were going to keep this as one parcel, but if you do a lot split and I'm not sure how you can regulate no additional access points on Ponce de Leon if a separate applicant come in the future. And technically, like I said, the lot split, once it reduces the front footage, they're only allowed 2 access points.
Can they even do a lot split with the current proposed use is coastal center mixed use? And I think that future development piece was kept as part of this application to meet the mixed use requirements at a later date.
We did discuss that with them.
Coastal Center has a minimum or a maximum parcel size for single use.
No, but it's a mixed use category, it requires a mixture of uses, so unless, what Bill's getting at, unless you're gonna consider the memory care and the assisted living 2 separate uses, if they sell off that future development parcel and it's not part of this development, then do they have mixed use? Because coastal center mixed use requires at least 2 separate uses. Unless it's under 3 acres, which is not.
But that under 3 acre parcel has to have existed November 7, 1996.
But you still wouldn't,
I don't think we can create parcels less than 3 acres now to qualify for that single use requirement.
yeah, I don't know what it would be once they split it off. 10.61 acres now.
And the future development's 2.68 plus or minus acres, so it's, 7
I
plus
mean, they're
acres.
looking at 3 or multiple uses on the future development parcel. I mean,
But if it's not connected to this overall development, does this have mixed use? And that's the question, yes or no? If we want to consider memory care and assisted living 2 separate uses, and the access is a conundrum because today, they meet the requirements. So if we approve it, they're good to go. But then they come in and sell that off, and now they're non-conforming, but we would have approved it because it's conforming currently.
All right, let me make a suggestion as to what we do. Since the applicant is not here to answer these questions or address these concerns, let's at least continue this to the special meeting on the 16th. Since there's discussion tomorrow related to potential lot split, we got questions about number of access points. I don't see how we can move, and the questions about qualification for mixed-use development. I don't see how we can move it forward, even conditionally this morning.
Motion to continue.
We have a motion to continue to May 16. We have a second?
Second.
For the record, Tim, I'm meeting with them on Friday, and one of the issues I have is access. So you're more than welcome to come to a meeting, or we can talk offline if you want to be here.
Well, I saw they responded to your comment about the auto turn.
Yep. That's not working for me.
I saw they responded.
That's one of the things we're going to discuss. So, like I said, the invitation's there. You want to meet?
We have a motion and a second to continue this to May 16th. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item will continue to May 16th at 8:30 in this room. That brings us to number 18, the Forest View Village Apartments. Request to approve by final order. This is a major development. Tim Brown has reviewed it. And Tim, if you could introduce it for us.
Yes, thank you. As you mentioned, this is a major development application requesting approval to develop 283 unit apartment complex on 13.1 acres with future land use and general commercial in the Forest View Village PUD. Located on the east side of MC Davis Boulevard, north of USA with Highway East. This is the total allotment of residential for the PUD. There are approved for 283 apartments, and this is for 283 apartments. The comments are pretty minor. We've got some comments from planning, engineering, and I don't believe there was any outstanding comments from fire.
We did. He had conditional approvals.
So I'll turn it over to David.
Good morning. I'm David Smith with Interline Engineering. As Tim mentioned, we are proposing this technical development order application consistent with the approved PUD. So I agree with Tim. The comments are very minor. So I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you all have of me.
Have any questions from the donors on this one? Hearing none, this is a major development that will be heard at the Planning Commission and Board of County Commission for public hearings. At this time, we'll invite any technical questions or comments related to land development code or this process from any member of our audience. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Hearing none, do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, recommend a motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments and move it forward to the planning commission.
Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is approved to move forward to the Planning Commission, subject to satisfaction of any outstanding comments. This brings us to item number 19, the McDonald's remodel. Request to approve by final order. It's a major development that's been reviewed by Tim Brown. Tim, if you could introduce it for us.
Thank you. This is a major application requesting approval to remodel the existing structure to add a dual drive-through, make architectural improvements, and make ADA improvements on 1.179 acres of the future land use of Postal Center. It's located at 12830 US Highway 98 West in Miramar Beach. There's quite a number of comments from planning. I forwarded the comments from fire, and there's some scenic corridor outstanding comments, but I don't see any deal breakers, anything that would hold it up. I guess the applicant's not here, but I don't see any issues that would hold it up.
This is a major development. We'll have a public hearing at Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners. We'll take this opportunity to invite any technical questions or technical comments from any member of our audience related to this proposal. Anyone wishing to speak on this particular item at this time? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, recommend a motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments and move forward to the design review board.
Motion?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? This item is approved to, subject to comment and satisfaction, to move forward to the Design Review Board. This brings us to item number 20, Seller's Tile. Request to approve by final order. The major development application has been reviewed by Tim Brown. Tim, could you introduce it for us?
Yes, thank you. This is a major development application requesting approval to develop a 20,600 square foot commercial building on 2.01 acres with the future land use of the BMU. It's located at 2800 US Highway 98 West in Santa Rosa Beach. There's quite a number of comments from planning, environmental, engineering, traffic. And I'll turn it over to the applicant to see if you have any questions on these comments.
I'm John Green with All Engineering. We reviewed the comments and we're in the process of addressing all those comments. We don't really have any questions.
This is a major development that will have a public hearing at Planning Commission and Board of County Commissioners. Do we have anyone from the audience that wishes to make a technical comment or ask a technical question with regard to compliance with the Land Development Code on this project? Seeing none, do we have a recommended motion?
I did want to mention one other thing. It's in the scenic corridor, so there are some outstanding scenic corridor comments as well, so that's on the record. But I don't see any deal breakers, so the recommended motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments and move it forward to the design review board.
Did you receive my comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I forwarded them. I just didn't remember if there was, did you have an outstanding comment?
I don't think it's anything that can't be fixed, so, anything major.
Based on our direction from the Design Review Board, those comments related to the scenic corridor have to be satisfied prior to it appearing on the Design Review Board agenda. We have, yes, sir.
What needs to be accomplished prior to getting on the agenda for the Design Review Board?
Prior to being heard at that meeting, you need to satisfy all these outstanding comments. We've taken a few projects that were not quite complete to the DRB, and they were not too happy about that. So it will reflect negatively on your application if you haven't satisfied all the comments before appearing at that podium. That's just been our experience in the last few months.
We just want to make sure we get all of our ducks in a row before we get there.
Yes, sir, we appreciate that. We'll do our best to help you along that way. We have a recommended motion, Tim?
Yes. Recommending to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments and move it forward to the design review board.
We got a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
This item, any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is approved to move forward to the Design Review Board, subject to satisfaction of all outstanding comments. That brings us to item number 21, the Alice Beach Club and Plaza. Request to approve minor development order. It's been reviewed by Tim Brown. Tim, if you could introduce this one for us.
Yes, thank you. This is the minor development order requesting approval to develop the Alice Beach Club and Plaza within block WW of Alice Beach PD on 1 acre with future land use in T&D. It's located on the south side of Sea Garden Street, east of South Strong Street, and west of South Castle Harbor Drive. The comments, there are outstanding comments from planning, environmental, and engineering. However, they're pretty minor, and I don't see anything that would hold the project up. So I'll turn it over to David.
Thank you, Tim. I'm David Smith with Interline Engineering, and we have received the staff report and agree with Tim. The comments are minor, so I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you all have.
I did forward fire comments as well.
Yes.
Thank you, David. Do we have any questions or comments from the dais? This is a minor development that will go to development order upon approval at this particular stage of the review. Do we have anyone from the audience that wishes to make a comment of any kind regarding this particular project? We'll open a public hearing for that purpose. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, I recommend a motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments and moving it forward to the development stage.
All right, we have a recommended motion. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is approved to move forward to development order, subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments. That brings us to item number 22, the Seven Palms at Inlet Beach plat, request to approve by final Mylar. It's been reviewed by Tim Brown. Tim, if you could introduce that one for us.
Yes, thank you. This is a plat application requesting approval to develop 5 single-family lots on 1.26 acres with a future land use of neighborhood infill in an Inlet Beach neighborhood plan designation of residential, located at 160 Pompano Street in Inlet Beach. We've got outstanding plans, comments, engineering, and county surveyor. However, I do not see anything that would hold it up, so I'll turn it over to that.
Good morning, Shannon Clatchy.
Good morning.
We have underway those corrections being made, and we should have a resubmittal soon, possibly tomorrow or Friday.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the dais? This item will have a public hearing at Florida County Commissioners. Once comments have been satisfied, we'll take the opportunity to invite any technical questions or technical comments regarding compliance with the Walton County Land Development Code or Chapter 177 of Florida statutes at this time. Would anyone care to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will entertain a recommended motion.
Recommended a motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues / comments and move it forward to the Board of County Commissioners.
Got a recommended motion. We have a motion of the dais.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is recommended for approval to the Board of County Commissioners, subject to satisfaction of any outstanding comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. This moves us to the final item on our agenda this morning, item number 23, the Grace Point Phase 2 plat. Request to approve by final plat. It's been reviewed by Renee Bradley, and Bob is standing in for Renee this morning. Thank you, Bob.
Sir, this is a plat application submitted by Interline Engineering requesting to approve a 7 single-family lot subdivision plat within the prominent PUD/DRI known as Grace Point Phase 2. The project is on 1.60 acres with a future land use of traditional neighborhood. There appears to be some outstanding comments. I don't think that anything that I see would prevent it from moving forward. I'd like to turn it over to the applicant.
Thank you. I'm David Smith with Interline Engineering, and we have received the staff report. I agree with Bob. There's no comments that they appear to be very minor, so I'd be happy to answer any questions you all have.
Thank you, David. Do we have any questions on this item from the dais? Since this will have a public hearing at the Board of County Commissioners, we'll take the opportunity to invite any technical questions or technical comments related to compliance with the Walton County Land Development Code or Chapter 177 of Florida statutes on this proposed plat. Anyone wishing to speak? Seeing none, we will move forward to a recommended motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to conditionally approve the plat pending successful resubmittal, addressing staff comments. Once that's done, move it on to the BCC for their consideration.
Thank you, Bob. Do we have a motion at the dais?
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, this item is approved to move forward to the Board of County Commissioners for final consideration upon satisfaction of any outstanding comments.
Thank you.
And that concludes our agenda this morning. Thank you all very much. A lot of hard work has been accomplished getting to this point for these projects. So that does not go unnoticed. Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Yes, right there. And then I believe this is Magnolia Cottages, but I believe these are comments for the Blue Mountain Beach Phase 3.
Pretty much didn't have any, most of my comments in here, and even says in red, not proceed